Hi, my name is Cameron Carlson with AnimeLocation.tv. I'm here at Colossalcon 2016 with Mr. Kaiji Tang. How you doing?
Good. How are you, sir?
All right. So, how did you get started in the world of anime?
Complete accident. Like, literal dumb luck. I face planted into it. I was doing commercial acting, on-screen commercial acting for like Garmin GPS and Discovery Channel. And one day I came across this listing for a dubbing studio who's looking to get a like podcast show produced. So I was like, okay, that's cool. I see that it's being hosted by Johnny Young Bosch. I like Power Rangers. I'm going to do this. So I did the podcast, and then afterwards they were like, hey, would you mind reading for something? We got the show going on. And I was like, yeah, okay. This is how little I knew about voiceover. I walked into the booth, I recorded, but I didn't know I was recording. I thought I was auditioning for something.
Wow.
So after they laid down the tracks, I came out, it's like, oh, what show did I just read for? They're like, what are you talking about? Here's your check. We'll call you. I'm like, thanks. I've been doing it ever since.
Well, going back to that awesome show, working with Johnny, it was over 8 years ago, working on Bang Zoom's Go Anime TV, which were broadcasted on Comcast and also on iTunes, because that's how I knew who you were, was through Go Anime TV, because I remember watching you going, I want to be you.
Oh, that show had like three seasons? Three seasons.
Unfortunately, the second season... After the second season, the third season was only available on Comcast versus being online. So unfortunately, I haven't seen anything from the third season.
I mean, it was a fun show. I credit the show with being able to meet some of the most amazing people in my life who I still keep in touch with. Roy and I are still best friends. You know, I play Magic with Nick Manelik. I work with Melee. Bailey has a kid now.
Really?
It's crazy. It's like, and I still work with Jonathan. You know, and it's like I've kept in touch with all these people, and it allowed me to meet Tony Oliver and all the people at Bang Zoom. So Stephanie, and it was you know, it was a fun show to be a part of. More importantly, I feel like anime TV basically allowed me to enter the voice acting medium. So, you know, I have a lot to thank that show for, as short as it was. You know.
Because the president of Bang Zoom said if we don't get any more views, we're gonna have to cut it, and that was like 2010. So I remember he made a big deal about it, and that was right around when I got into Claymore too. So it says in your bio that you are Archer in the new Fate series. How is it like to work on that? And did you have a chance to talk to Mr. Liam O'Brien about getting into Archer's head?
It was actually, when I got the email that I was going to be playing Archer, it was terrifying, because I was a huge fan of the Fate Stay Night franchise. I actually played the visual novel before I was ever involved in voice acting, you know. And it was Anime TV. We reviewed the first.
I remember that. Yep.
Fate Stay Night. So it was this weird like full circle thing, and I was like, how do I you know, step up and compare it to Liam O'Brien's performance?
Right, because it's so deep.
Exactly.
Slow and mellow.
Exactly.
He can ratchet it up when he wants to.
And what we finally decided was, you know, it's a different show. It's a different tone, and it's a different atmosphere from the last Fate, because the Unlimited Blade Works arc is a little darker and a little more depressing and a little more nihilistic. You know, Archer anyway. So we went with that kind of attitude going forward. But Liam, when I first got the role, I tweeted at him. It's like, hey Liam, you know, I can't duplicate your performance. I can only wear the red coat for a while, you know. And he was super cool about it. He's like, hey, don't worry about it, the role comes with strawberry jam, it's fine. And that's the most I've ever spoken to him about it. And it sounds weird, because I'm glad I was able to play Archer. At the same time, the fan in me was also kind of disappointed he wasn't able to come back, because it's a different studio who handles the show now, you know. So because he was in Fate Zero, and it was the same studio that did that, they couldn't use him for Archer, which is a shame, you know, because he was amazing as Archer, you know.
Him and Sam are like best buds, so that's why if you ever see Liam, you're always guaranteed to see Sam. Yeah. So it says and you've also been in Bravely Default. What's it like to be part of that series, and how have fans reacted to it? Because now we've got another 2 games coming out, and are you going to potentially bring yourself back as a weird character?
I would love to be a part of Bravely Default again. I mean, I had such a good time voicing Dr. Kata. It was like, I'll tell you a story. When I went in to read for Dr. Kata, the casting person had no idea what he wanted for the character. The closest he got was like this 50-year-old dude who was real tired sounding. He sounded like a wizard, you know, like
Not a doctor.
not a doctor. I was like, oh, this dude. Here's the voice, you know, and it was. Kata is one of those like magnificent bastards who like he sort of has no redeeming quality, but that's okay because of the way he is, you know. And I heard that he stays dead for the second game and he doesn't come back, which is a shame. But maybe, I don't know, maybe the third one, Robo Kata, will come back. I don't know. I would love to bring Kata back. But yeah, any chance I can get to be in Bravely Default.
I heard it was a really tough game, so
It was fun. It was so fun, man.
Alrighty, now it says that you also do a YouTube series called The Voices of Gaming. How did that all come about? Because I know you work with Mr. Taliesin when doing some of that. So how is it like doing that whole YouTube channel?
It was something that a friend of mine, Joseph Cervantes, we got together and we're like, let's do a YouTube thing. Well, why not? It's kind of just a passion project. It's not like we haven't invested as much time in it as I think it deserves, and I think we should in the future put out more stable content instead of once every like
2 years.
Yeah. But it's always really fun working on those. Like Taliesin was really excited to do this Street Fighter thing. I think he's interested in doing like a new Street Fighter series for Street Fighter 5. We just have to rounding up actors is like herding kittens.
That's what we call it too.
That's mostly why it takes so long. Because it's like you'll ask all your friends like, hey, do you guys want to do this thing? They're like, we're booked until next year. Okay. But yeah, definitely moving forward, there's going to be more Voices of Gaming, and I love doing it, and it's just a fun channel to run.
Yeah, we call it herding cats when we got to talk to you guys too.
It is, man. It is.
So you also happen to work on a few of the Tales of games.
Yes.
What's it like working on some of those and the huge cast of those games? I mean, they're a long list. I mean, I've played Vesperia and Symphonia, but I missed out on all the PS stuff because I didn't have a PlayStation.
I see.
Yeah, so I missed out on all of that. But we get to talk to a lot of you guys and we get to hear about it. So what's it like working on that? Especially because a lot of your former YouTube and Newgrounds voice actors are in all the newer games too, like Kara Buckland and Kerberfer. Yeah, so it's like a lot of these cool Newground YouTubers are now in, they're doing all this great stuff in professional voice acting. So what's it like working with a huge group of people?
Well, working with them wouldn't be the correct term because for video games, you record by yourself. But the cast is, I think the cast for the Tales game sounds fantastic, and I love the Tales games because they were my favorite JRPGs.
Yeah.
Of all time.
You can also play with all your friends.
Yeah, exactly. And like Vesperia was so good, and Yuri Lowell is still my favorite JRPG protagonist. Yeah. Because he's like, okay, if you have not played Tales of Vesperia, you need to go out and play it right now.
It's hard to find on the original Xbox
360
version versus the PS3 remastered.
It is. I own it, however, so yay. So this interview is no, like if you don't understand why Yuri Low is great, I've never seen any other protagonist do this. He is a grown-ass man. He's not a teenager, first of all. He's a grown-ass man, and he will murder villains in cutscenes.
Yes.
He is the most efficient protagonist I've ever seen. There was like this guy who was into slavery, and like in the middle of the night on the bridge, he was like, oh.
Yeah, off with you.
And then another guy, he drags out to quicksand and just watches him drown.
Yeah.
That is some metal stuff, man. Like this dude,
and he's got a kick-ass dog.
Exactly. And the best part is all his friends find out about it, but no one does anything because what are you going to say to the guy? He's like, but you murdered those people. Yup.
Especially the guy on the bridge when he's getting the water.
Yeah.
No, you could have died.
That's right. And all his friends are like too scared to be like, that's... Okay, we're just doing that. We're the party that does that. It's fine. Yes, but yeah, Tales games I love because they're so well written, and it's been such an honor and privilege to be a part of Grace's Exilia 2, and I'm really excited about the new one coming out. The what was it called? The one with the female protagonist.
Oh no, I didn't know about that.
What? No. Yeah, they already announced it in Japan. They're going back to the Yuri Lowell type of protagonist. She's a grown ass woman. And I heard she may murder some people in cutscenes, so it's really exciting.
Yeah. Alrighty. So you've gotten to work with a lot of your fellow voice actors that are here this weekend, and you've gotten to work on the Kill la Kill franchise. What was it like to see your work up on Toonami, especially because you and I grew up in the Toonami era back in the 90s? What was it like that you got to fulfill a childhood love of being on television on Toonami?
Oh, it was great. It was great. I love that. When you watch Kill la Kill, right? Like when you first watch the first few episodes, you're like, I don't know what to think about this show. I'm not even sure what's happening. Yeah, exactly.
Like action-y Dragon Ball.
Exactly, and then
mixing Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball and fan service all together.
And then as you watch the show, you're like, oh, okay, that's what they're doing, and it just becomes more and more entertaining and outlandish and amazing. So I was really glad that it made it onto Toonami. You know, I was like, oh, is it too? Yeah, but I'm really glad it made it on there, and it was fun to live tweet it all the time.
Yeah,
and it was,
I saw a lot of your tweets.
Yeah, that was just a really fun show to work on. Yeah. Like I would come back to that character in a second, you know.
So, are there any upcoming projects you want your fans to know about at this time? We obviously understand the pesky NDA that you have to sign. So
that's unfortunately most of them, but there is a couple things I can talk about. There's a Hearthstone-like trading card game coming out called Shadowverse. I'm a bunch of cards and characters in that. Grand Kingdom is coming out for PS4, and if you haven't seen news about that, it's a really exciting game. Imagine the love child between Final Fantasy Tactics and I think Dragon's Crown? Dragon Quest. The one with the Sorcerer Amazon.
Dragon Crown.
Dragon Crown. Yeah. It's like the love child between those two games. And in the best way. Yeah. And if you want me to pitch it to you really quick, you control a mercenary party, completely customizable, with units of your choosing, right? There's a storyline, but you can also pit your mercenary squad against your friends online. Yeah, exactly. Ooh. It's awesome. Yeah, it is.
Like Dark Souls also.
Yes.
You can throw the squad into somebody else's.
Exactly. It's so sweet. And please pick it up because it looks really fun. Other than that, I'm in Iron-Blooded Orphans.
I heard about it, yeah.
I'm not sure as who, but I'm in it. And I don't know what else I can talk about, sadly.
Okay, no, it's no big deal. It's no big deal. And now, is there any way for all your wonderful fans to keep up with you online? And a final message for all your wonderful fans.
Sure. So I'm on Facebook. You can find me at Kaiji Tang Voice Monkey. I'm on Twitter. That's also Kaiji Tang. And I think I have a Tumblr too.
Sure.
Tumblr's been interesting, but yeah, Tumblr's an interesting place. But I have a Tumblr, and they're very sweet folks on there. So it's also Kaiji Tang on Tumblr. And I just want to say, like, if you guys have been following me throughout this crazy voice acting thing, thank you so much. It's been an amazing experience to be able to do what I love, and I'm a big supporter of you finding something in life to do that you love, because who knows what'll happen.
Right, exactly.
You know, you don't want to be the guy 90 years old on your deathbed going, oh man, I should have done that one thing, or I should have done this thing. That's like my worst nightmare scenario. So I'm trying to have as few regrets in life as I can. So thank you everyone for helping me achieve that, and I hope the same for all of you.
Thank you so much again for coming and talk with us. Thank you so much, my friend. It was fun.